Steve, this is the most fantastic show.
Thank you, Molly.
When I first knew you, which was a number of years ago, I had you come as a landscape architect to my house.
Right.
And then you began showing me this art. How did this come about?
Well, 1968, I was at Chouinard.
Yeah.
And I graduated from Cal Arts in 1972. And I had a fairly good career as an artist for about 10 years.
But tell me about these specific things. You told me you went to Costa Rica and you used to draw on airbags.
Right. The airbags were out of necessity because my sketchbook was in luggage. And I needed something light to draw, and I was so inspired by the geography below. You know, at 30,000 feet, it can be quite striking when it's a clear day. And the rivers, the mountains, they all just spoke to me to be drawn, and so I drew them, and I thought, these make great paintings. I visualized them as great paintings.
And they really work.
They work. It's experimental for me because I've been a geometric artist since day one.
I was in New York this week and I went to the Affordable Art Show, which was not the greatest, but the best paintings were paintings of the overview of New York, you know, and I think this is what you have always really been good at. I think in each art movement there are 5 artists who make it in the history books. Where do you want to be?
I'd like to be number 1.
Well, where? But do you consider yourself a pop artist? How do you consider yourself?
I do. I think I'm a minimalist pop artist.
Yeah.
And with my landscape studies, and when I start to go into figurative next year, I think we'll see more of that.
Who are your favorite artists?
I love David Hockney. And
why?
I love David Hockney because of his figurative.
Yeah.
And I love the colors of Frank Stella, so long ago.
I noticed that in the other room, how much you've learned from Frank Stella.
Well, that was the beginning.
Yeah. What happened? Do you remember when you got turned on?
I was at LACMA, and he had done a painting series on Moby Dick.
Yeah.
And Herman Melville's novel, and it was one of the most inspiring shows that I've ever seen. And so abstract, and so my goal was to take geometry, abstract it, minimalize it, and show true curves, show true right angles, but at the same time introduce some type of movement with my latest work and some type of repeat pattern that gives a feeling of flow.
You've lived, I've known you in New York, I've known you here in Los Angeles, in Costa Rica. What do you think the differences are between the 3 areas, and do they affect your work?
Well, New York is the most inspiring.
Yeah.
Los Angeles has the ocean and the waves, which is my love. And where I grew up and went to school at Chouinard and Cal Arts.
What took you to Costa Rica?
Well, Costa Rica, actually, this gallery sent me down there, and LA Art Corps sent me down in 1998 to work in an art colony, just paint. And so I was by myself for 6 weeks. Just
what was his name? William Wilson?
William White.
William White. I remember him. He was a tremendous inspiration on you and a number of other artists.
A really great guy.
Yeah.
And Julie and David White Artist Colony is where I was. And unfortunately, Bill has passed away, but the colony is still there, and it's receiving artists every year.
I see a lot of artists in New York who have actually lived there. The thing that I like about you, in addition to the paintings, is that wherever you go, you really get involved with the people. And when I would see you, you'd come with a whole new group of stories of Larry Sachs, different people, different ideas.
Sure. It's one of those things I've been blessed with. It's just I love talking with people, and I love sharing my ideas about art. So when I get together with artists, it's great for me. I love it.
Now, how do you get started with a painting? Do you sketch? What do you do?
Just like the air sickness bags that I draw on to create these landscapes from above. I like to do a little drawing, maybe on a cocktail napkin, or possibly just at home, just drawing. And all of a sudden, I'll develop a series of those drawings, and they'll be on good paper. And from that, I'll do some vignettes. But usually, I go right to the canvas.
Do you have a hard time accepting that you've got a retrospective while you're still really young?
No, not at all. I've worked very hard to get this to this place in time.
Had to kiss up with a lot of people, yeah.
But it's just I've been blessed. I've been very lucky to have the opportunity to show in galleries and get noticed and know you. And you helped me in New York a lot. You're the one that told me to go to New York when you interviewed me that time. And Will Barnett became one of my strong supportors, and he just recently passed away.
Yeah,
101 years old. Just a dynamo of an artist in New York. So yeah, he was a great inspiration for me.
Do you think artists are different than other people?
I think they're one of a kind.
Yeah.
If you're not an artist, there's no comparison between people, you know.
But don't you think that artists are extremely, they hate to work by committee. They are absolutely in heaven in their studios. Their mother will die and they'll just skip over that to get to the next painting.
Well,
did your mother die?
My mother passed away 2 years ago, and
I hope you made it to the funeral.
No, I took care of her last
Yeah.
2 years, and I sacrificed a lot of time in Costa Rica to be with her here in California. But our studios are fantasy worlds for our artists.
Really?
Yeah, it's a place where it's their own realm. Where they create, and hopefully their work gets shown.
What do you suggest to artists who are trying to get shown?
Oh, go to galleries, go to museums.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah, get seen. Go out and talk to people, especially at shows. You're not going to know anything just hidden in your home or in your studio. You need to get out and talk to people.
Artists are very shy often, but the thing is, I've learned for myself being somewhat shy, that you go to an opening, somebody hurts your feelings, I go out and then I walk around the block and go back in. I can't go home when my feelings get hurt. And I think artists have to learn to just rise above it.
You need thick skin.
Exactly.
You know.
And not being too self-centered so you're just talking about yourself all the time.
You know, when we had slides that were used to send to galleries, I was rejected constantly.
Were you?
Los Angeles wouldn't give me a show. I went for 5 years without a show, and I just accumulated work. But eventually I got a break. And I think that that's what you have to do to be successful, is you have to continue to pursue. You have to have passion. And you need to have that, I don't know, you need an angel in your corner, you know.
When I got started, I opened my first gallery about 30 years ago after working for a number of dealers. I think that now that art is such big business, the men have taken over. At when I had it, all of the top dealers in Los Angeles, well, with the exception of 3, were women because we were nurturing.
Well, you were a very successful dealer on
Thank you.
La Cienega. And before I even got out of art school, I was visiting your gallery.
Well, it was a really fun experience, and you think it'll last forever, and then you're old. All of a sudden, it's over.